Hey guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue the next portion of the notes that we were doing last time. I'll go ahead and post it on the website so you guys know which one's which. But this is gonna be number 5, okay? So number 5 says find the derivative of y with respect to x, given that your function is y is equal to -3 over the fifth root of x squared plus the square root of x over 4 minus 7. Okay, so this one's pretty much asking us for the derivative again using the power rule, and it's saying the derivative of y with respect to x. So this is your known. It's written explicitly. So your independent variable is your x, so it's with respect to x. Okay, so here what we need to do before we take the derivative is rewrite it. So we do -3. This is the denominator, so you move it up top. It's going to be negative, and it's going to be to the -2/5. 2/5 because the power is your numerator, and then your root is your denominator. Okay, plus this one's good already, so I'm going to put 1/4 x to the 1/5. I don't need to put negative because it's not in the denominator, and then minus 7. Okay, so now when we take the derivative, we're going to use the power rule. So I'm going to rewrite the -3, and then move this up, multiply it times my coefficient, and then take away 1, which is taking away 5/5. So it's going to be x to the -7/5, plus rewrite the 1/4, move this in front times the coefficient, and then take away a 1. Okay, so it's going to be x, so it's going to be -2/2. This would be to the -1/2, and then the derivative of -7 is 0. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to simplify a little bit. So this one, it's like it's underneath 1, so I'm going to multiply straight across, so it becomes a +6/5. And then I'm going to go ahead and extend this line because this is going to go in the denominator. So it's going to be the fifth root of x to the 7th, plus, multiply straight across, 1/8. And this is now going to go on the bottom as well. And it's going to be the square root of x. And this is your final answer right here. Okay. So once again, technically this is your answer. And technically this is your answer. But this is the one that I prefer, so you guys are going to have to be rewriting it. Okay. All right. Here's the next one. It's asking for the horizontal and vertical asymptotes. Okay, so f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 9x plus 4 over 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 24x. Okay, so if you want to find our HA, our horizontal asymptote, we're going to use Bobo, Botu, and Betsy, if you guys remember that. Okay, so Bobo, Botu, Betsy. So what we're going to do is we're going to be comparing the leading degrees of the numerator and denominator. So the leading degree here on top is 2. And the leading degree here on the bottom is 3. So it's bigger on bottom. So we're using Bobo. And this is side notes. When you guys take the AP exam, they're not going to know what Bobo is. So that's just for us to, a little trick for us to remember, okay? So it's bigger on bottom. So that means your answer is 0. So that means your horizontal is y equals 0. Don't forget that y, okay? Because the horizontal asymptote is an equation, so it's y equals 0, and that creates a horizontal line. Okay. All right. B. We want to find our vertical asymptotes. Now, in order for us to find our vertical asymptotes, we need to simplify and factor first. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and factor this portion here first. Okay. And I like to use the wheel method. Okay. So if you guys remember the wheel method, this top portion is 8 times c, so 2 times 4 is 8. This bottom portion is your b, which is your 9, and these are your a's, so 2 and 2. So what are factors of 8 that give you 9? It's 1 and 8. Treat these as fractions even though they're not. That one's already simplified. This one here is going to be 1/4. So I'm going to use the 1/4. So it's going to be 2x plus 1 because it's positive, and it's going to be 1x plus 4. Okay, so that one's done. Okay, and the next one is the denominator. We have to make sure that we factor out an x first, okay? So I'm going to do x, take away an x, and it's going to be 2x squared plus 2x minus 24. You know what I also need to do is I also need to factor out a 2 as well. So I'm going to rewrite this top part. And it's going to be 2x times x squared plus x minus 12. So this is the one I'm going to be factoring out. And you don't really need to use the wheel method in this one. This one you can kind of figure out on your own. But this is going to be -12, 1, 1, 1. So what are factors of negative 12 that give you 1? And it's 4 and negative 3. Okay, so these are already reduced. So I'm going to rewrite it here. So 2x plus 1 times x plus 4. And rewrite the 2x. And then what's going to go in here is 1x plus 4, so x plus 4. And then 1x minus 3. Okay, so now we check to see which one reduces, okay? So this reduces, this simplifies. So what this tells me is this is a whole, okay? So at x equals negative 4 is a whole. And here is where your vertical asymptote is at. So what makes this 0 is x equals 3. So my vertical asymptote is x equals 3, okay? So it's important you guys simplify, otherwise you guys are not gonna get the answer, okay? All right, so that one right there. And then the last one is number 7, which basically says, given this portion here, given this function, what is y prime of negative 3? Okay. All right. So when I give you guys this problem at the very beginning of the school year, you guys didn't know what the chain rule was. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you both ways. So if you don't know the chain rule, what you need to do is you need to multiply this out first. So I'm going to do negative 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. And I'm going to go ahead and write it out so that's not two binomials being multiplied each other. So it's going to be 4x squared. And it's going to be negative 6x. And you get another negative 6x. And this is going to be 9. Okay, so you get 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. So we're going to take the derivative of that. So y prime is equal to 8x minus 12. So that's the derivative. We're going to go ahead and actually plug in the negative 3. So we're going to get negative 24 minus 12, which is a negative 36. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That's doing it, I guess you can say it's a long way. So that's the power rule. Okay, that's the power rule. The next portion is using the chain rule. So since we already know how to do this, we're going to go ahead and apply this. So remember, the chain rule, and it doesn't really matter what order you do it, but I like to do it where you work from the inside out. So what's the derivative of the inside? So 2x minus 3 is your inside function. The derivative of that is 2 times the derivative of the outside. So pretend this is like a big x squared, okay? So ignore the inside for a little bit. I'm going to move the 2 to the front, so it's going to be 2 times whatever's in the inside, and then take away 1, so it's just a 1 here, and then leaving the inside alone, okay? So the derivative is 4 times 2x minus 3. And in here, there's no sense of simplifying. Even though it's pretty simple, there's no sense in simplifying because we can just straight up plug in the negative 3. So we're going to get 4 times 2 times negative 3 minus 3. So we get 4 times negative 6 minus 3, which is equal to 4 times negative 9, which is equal to negative 36. So look, we get the same answers. This one requires less steps, and even though it requires you to memorize the formula, it's good practice because the chain rule is for sure going to be on the AP exam. Okay, so with that said, that completes that assignment. So make sure you guys take the notes, and I'll see you guys once the break is over.